Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my December TBR. I know. It's a tad late. It's already the 7th of December, the day I'm filming this. I'm sorry, life got in the way. But of course I still wanted to share my TBR for the last month of the year with all of you, especially because it's a very special one for me, because I have something to share with you. It's the Christmas edition of Just Beat That TBR, my TBR game that I have used for a few months now, and I couldn't help myself. I of course had to do a Christmas edition where I changed some of the prompts, some of the board itself in order to make it a bit more Christmassy, a bit more festive, and I think it's very cute. So in case you have never seen a TBR video of mine before, let me just quickly tell you what this TBR game is all about. For the last couple of months, I have used a TBR game in order to get prompts, in order to choose my books for the upcoming month. My game is loosely based on the game Cluedo, and with it we have a suspect that is trying to get to the murder weapon and then to the murder scene, the murder room, where the slaying of the TBR is being done. In the beginning of the game we choose a suspect and a murder weapon, and then later on in the game we're going to choose a murder scene, and these three prompts are very important for the last book of the game, where I try to find a book that fits all three prompts. But until we get to the murder scene we have other prompts, of course. The Christmas edition actually changed some of those prompts. We have the rooms. Some of them are still the same. We still have the library, the reading nook, the publishers, etc. But some have changed. For example, the Winter Wonderland is for nature, the Christmas market is where there used to be a bookshop, and the friend's house is now home for the holidays. We have different murder weapons, which are a different format that I can read a book in. We have a little knit cap, we have a hot chocolate, we have a glove, we have an ugly Christmas sweater, we have a gift, and we also have, and of course we have the candle, which is the same but a Christmas candle. Again, the prompts are the same, I just wanted to make them a bit more festive. And then of course we have the suspects, where I start from. Usually they are different genres and different people from such genres, so maybe an astronaut or a magician. This time around I have changed both. So our suspects this time around are very cozy. We have a snowman, we have a gingerbread man, we have a little elf, we have Santa, we have a little reindeer, we have Rudolph, and we have a little cat. And they are, I'm just gonna put this down for a second because that's a lot. So this is the one point where I actually made a bit more of a change. So I didn't just change the board game, I did change the prompt as well, because lately I have only been craving fantasy books, maybe a bit of romance, maybe a bit of mystery, but usually I just want to pick up fantasy. My reading hasn't been that great since the summer actually, so I wanted to make it a bit more easy for me for December, so I decided to change the other genres into subgenres of fantasy that I might want to read during the next couple of weeks. So instead of having like sci-fi, fantasy, contemporary, romance and such, I actually put down, like I said, subgenres of fantasy or different vibes that I could get from a book. So that will be interesting to see how that changes the books that I choose. But there's one more big change that happened for this round of the TBR game, and that is the advent calendar that I put into the board. You might have noticed that there are different numbers all around the board. All in all, it's 24, of course. And behind every advent calendar door is a different festive or Christmassy book that I want to read. Behind some of the doors there's only one book, so I don't really have a choice. I need to read that book. Those are mostly the books that I really want to read, and also the ones that are like recent releases or things that I had as an ARC. But behind other doors I can choose between a couple or maybe even up to 4 books that all go for a certain theme. Maybe something that takes place on New Year's, or there are some books that have Hanukkah as a theme. There are also some that have been out for a while, so they are like highest priority for for me, but I still want to get to them. There is one door that has German arcs or like German Christmas books behind it, so I can choose one of those. So sometimes I can choose, sometimes the advent calendar makes the choice for me, but we'll see how the board is to me and how many of those I actually want to pick up. Just like with the murder weapon, I don't actually need to land on one of the advent calendar doors. I can just pass it, and that still means that I have to read said book. I have so many that I want to get to, and over the years they just accumulate and I never end up picking them up because there are so many other things that I want to read. But maybe this time around I can actually make myself sit down and enjoy these Christmassy books. I also made this advent calendar because I want to prioritize Christmas books, but I also didn't just want to have a TBR full of Christmas novels where I can't really choose anything else. So I'm gonna try to pick some of these advent calendar doors, and then for the other prompts that I can get, I will just try to not pick Christmas books, if that makes sense. I think that's it. I think that's all you need to know. If you want to know more about the rules and what the different symbols mean, I'm gonna link my first TBR game video down below and up above so you can check it out. I go more into detail, but I'm pretty sure it explains itself once you see me playing the game. So let's go ahead and roll for the first time. Welcome to Just Beat That TBR Christmas edition. So we have Just Slay That TBR, and we have our suspects, our murder weapons, and our murder scene over here. I already shuffled those, so let's go ahead and check out who our suspect is this time around. It's the gingerbread man. Nice. That means the final book has to be a cozy read. Let's go ahead and pick our murder weapon. The beanie, which means that the final book needs to be an audiobook. And we're gonna pick our final destination and we're gonna put it right over here. This is gonna be revealed after we reach the beanie, which means that we have to go from over here to the beanie, very short way. And then we're gonna find out where we need to go next. And like I said, these little baubles are kind of an advent calendar, so we'll see if I get to them. Since it's only a very short way to here, I think I'm gonna try to get all of them so that I can actually read a bunch of Christmas novels. I don't really remember which books are behind which door, so that's gonna be a surprise. So let's roll for the first time. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be a secret passage. That would mean like a theme or a plot device. 1, 2, 3, 4 would give us the first Christmas book. And like I said, I wanted to get all of those that are near here. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're gonna open Advent Calendar door 21. This started out very perfect for me. Not only is the way to the murder weapon very short, which means this game should be nice to me, but with our first roll we also landed on our first Christmas book. So the first one that we landed on is the 21, and that is actually very cool because behind that door we have 2 books that have a Hanukkah theme, and both of them I'm really excited about. The first one is 8 Nights of Flirting. This one has been an arc of mine for a very long time. I'm really sorry to say that I never really got around to reading it, but ever since it's come out I still wanted to read it. It's still like on my mind, so I really want to get into this one. I think it's just a very cute YA romance during the festive time, during Hanukkah, so I'm really excited for that one. And then we have Kissing Kosher, which is I think adult romance, and I've already read something by this author. I really enjoyed it, and so I'm really excited to see what this author does in her next novel. So I think right now I'm going to go for the YA book. So I'm gonna go and put 8 Nights of Flirting on my TBR. Like I said, it's an arc. I still want to try to get that NetGalley score up if I can during this month, so that's a good way to go. And so 8 Nights of Flirting it is. Let's go for roll number 2. A 2. So that could be either a 1, 2. That would be again Secret Passage. A 1, 2, that would be Mr. Bodycard, which would mean anything on the cover in the title. 1, 2, that would be a murder scene, so any of these rooms. That would be any way or form that I acquired a book. I think I'm gonna go to the Mr. Body. And that way I can maybe pick up the beanie and also the number 6 Christmas book. Not sure if I'm gonna go for the 4 because it would be a bit out of my way. So let's see what our Mr. Body card would be. Over here, Mr. Body card, and that would be a format. And let's figure out which one we're gonna go for. 6. And that would be a free choice out of all of these options. So that's nice of the game. Next up, again, the game was really nice to me. It gave us format and it gave me the choice of deciding what format I want to read in. I went with the hardcover because I want to read Feybound by Sarah L. Arifi. I bought this in the beginning of the year and I've been meaning to get to it soon-ish, and I just got the arc for the sequel, which is coming out I think in February, so I need to get to this one so that I can then go ahead and try to keep up to date with my NetGalley arcs. And the reason why I haven't read this is because Fae isn't really my most excited thing to read about in my fantasy novels, and so in this one we have not only humans and Fae but also elves, and I think humans are almost extinct and there's a war going on between Fae and elves, and we're kind of thrust into this world. And because it's just not the typical Fae story, I might actually enjoy this one, so I really want to get into this one. I heard good things about it, but I haven't really heard too many people like loving this or giving it like raving reviews and maybe the best of the year so far, so I kind of want to get into it. Let's roll again and let's try to get the beanie so that I can then know where I need to go next. A 5. So I can definitely get the beanie, but let's see where I can go then. 1, 2, I can pick up this one. 3, 4, 5 would be if I wanted to go towards the 4 again. We would have a secret passage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mr. Body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be a genre. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would give us another Christmas read. So with this one, I could actually pick up 2 Christmas books. I think I'm gonna go for this one. So it's gonna be 1, 2, the beanie. 3, number 6. 4, 5. We passed another advent calendar door, and that is the number 6, and behind that door is one book that I need to read for it, and that is Erin Green's From Shetland with Love at Christmas. I got this when I was in Edinburgh. Was it last year? I think it was last year. I went there in November with my sister and I picked this one up. I was so happy to find so many Christmas novels in there, like supermarkets and everything, so I picked up a bunch. Didn't really read it last year, so I'm trying to keep up with them this year around. I only learned later that this is part of a series, so I think the first one is actually just called From Shetland with Love, and now it's at Christmas. I hope that we don't follow the same characters, or that maybe we have the characters of the first novel only in the background, and we can actually have a new, like, a romantic, cozy story in this one. Maybe romance, I'm not sure. Maybe it's also just about friendship and finding yourself during the holiday times. It looks cozy. I like it. I want to get to it. That's all I need to know about this for now. Next up, we landed on advent calendar door number 22, and that is one of the doors that only has one book behind it, and I'm so happy that I actually managed to get to this door because it's Elle McNichol's Some Like It Cold. I love this author. She always has neurodivergent characters, and I'm really happy to have books with this kind of representation in it. And to be honest, it's December 7th, so I can tell you I've already started this one. I'm only on page 28, but I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm so excited for this one. In it, we have a neurodivergent character who has been gone for college for a couple of years and has now returned for the holidays, only to say goodbye to her family because she has made some decisions about her life and now she kind of wants to share that with her family, though she's very wary about that meeting because she knows that her family is very like traditional. The whole town basically is going away for college but always coming back, getting a job, getting married, getting kids. There is a very like high expectation of what her life is supposed to look like. She has different thoughts on it, and now is the time to actually voice those feelings and those thoughts and those wishes. She has always been the golden girl, the one who is helping everyone, who is nice to everybody, who helps when she can, and now maybe it's the first time that she has to go for something that she wants and not what everybody else wants from her. On the other side, there's Arthur, who stayed, who didn't go to college, who is working there, who has a very different impression of Jasper because they went to high school together, so they know each other, and he hasn't the best feelings towards her. So this is like an enemies to maybe friends, maybe more, and I can't wait to get into this one again, because I feel like with Jasper being neurodivergent, I think Arthur has a very wrong view of how she reacts and how she seems to other people. So it's going to be very probably heartbreaking and very beautiful to see how the author handles this in this book. Since we now have the murder weapon, we can find out where we need to go. So this was the one that we picked. Let's find out together. Ooh, the game is really nice this time around. We only have to go to the Christmas market, which is right here. So we can go this way, or we can go this way, and then we can enter the Christmas market. And that means that our final book will need to be a cozy read that is an audiobook, and that is a new purchase. Okay, so this is going to be a very short game, so we can either go this way and maybe pick up the 4 one, or we can go this way, pick up the 16, and then go in here. As of now, I've only picked one book that isn't Christmas related. So I think I'm gonna try to go this way and then maybe pick another book from these prompts. 3. So that can be 1, 2, 3, Usual Suspect, 1, 2, 3, which is a theme. I think I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, which is a secret passage or a theme of a book. Let's see which one it is. It is a book containing, let's find out which prompt we're gonna use. 4, which is a book containing a map. Nice. The next prompt that we got was to read a book that has a map in it, and I chose The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer. I have not read the first book that I have of this author, but when this was nominated for the Goodreads Choice Award, I was okay, let's just go with it. Let's get it, let's read it, especially since it's kind of a reimagining of the Chronicles of Narnia, which has a very like winter theme to it. So I'm hoping that this does too. And it actually does have a map in it. So I don't know too much about this. The only thing that I remember about this is that it's about 2 boys who went missing when they were kids. 6 months later, they came back. Nobody really knew where they went. I think they themselves don't really remember too much about it, or maybe one does and one doesn't. And now it's 15 years later, and something is gonna happen. Maybe they go back. I'm not really too sure. I don't really want to know too much more. If it's like Narnia, it's gonna be very like magical, very very atmospheric, very festive again for this time of year. So I'm hoping to get to this one in December. So we almost made it. We only need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to reach the Christmas market. So let's find out if the die is nice to me. 3. Okay, we're not reaching it yet. So we can go 1, 2, 3, which would be a murder weapon. Or we can go 1, 2, 3, which would mean a different genre. And I think I'm gonna go for this one because the ones that I picked out for the Christmas edition are very cute. So let's go 1, 2, 3. So this was the one that we started with, the cozy one. So let's find out what kind of book we have to find this time. And it's Santa. And Santa means a book that has a family in it. The next prompt that we got was to read a book that has a family aspect to it. And I decided to go with The Courting of Bristol Keats by Mary E. Pearson. This is a very beautiful edition that I got. I also have the ARC. I also put this on other TBRs already, so I need to get to it ASAP. But this does have a very big family aspect to it because the sisters in this have lost their parents when they were really young, but now all of a sudden there is an aunt that is sending them letters and telling them that maybe everything isn't as it seems because their father seems to be still alive, but it was taken into a fae world, and now the sisters have to go and try to save him and find him and figure out what all of this means. Again, reason why I didn't really read this yet is because of the fae aspect, but the author is one of my favorites, so I'm hoping to actually get into this very quickly and maybe even finish it quickly because I know her writing style is very addictive. Okay, hopefully the last roll. Oh god, no, it's not. I think I'm just gonna go to number 16 on my advent calendar. We almost made it. We are one step away from reaching our destination, but we still have one advent calendar door to open, and that is number 16. And it is very kismet because this one actually had 3 different New Year's books behind it. So we have one that I have as a physical copy, and that is Una Out of Order by Margarita Montemor. This has been on my TBR for years, so I hope to get to this eventually. I do believe this is set around New Year's because the main character can travel through time. Think like Time Traveler's Wife, but in this one I think it's always around New Year's and she can control where she goes, and so her life is kind of out of order and she has to always just live the part of this life that she's in, and she doesn't know what time she's gonna be in the next year. I think that's kind of what I remember of this synopsis. Hopefully, maybe I get to this one. The next one that I have behind this door is New Year's Kiss. I'm not sure if this one is YA or adult. I'm not sure anymore, but this is again an ARC, so I'm kind of hoping to get to it this year. It is a very cute romance set around New Year's and set in the mountains. If I would have to guess, I would say they're probably going to get snowed in. That is kind of the way these stories go. I'm not sure about that though. And the last book that is behind that door that I could choose for this one is It Ends at Midnight by Harriet Tice. And that is a thriller that is set at New Year's, and I'm guessing not everybody is gonna make it to the New Year's. So yeah, 3 very different books set around New Year's, and I think I might do a little try a chapter and see which one I'm most likely to continue and love. And I might actually do that at New Year's because I don't really feel like going out for New Year's. I'm not a very New Year's Eve person. Yeah, I don't really like it. So I'm probably gonna make it a very cozy day in for me right here with a good book, and hopefully one of those 3 will like catch my eye and I can actually read it on the last day of the year. Now the last roll, a 4. And we landed at the Christmas market, the murder scene. We're gonna slay that TBR with our last book, which is a cozy read that is an audiobook and is a new purchase. And now we actually managed to get to the Christmas market. We slayed our TBR, hopefully, and now we can pick one final book that we need to read during this month, and it has to have 3 prompts that it works for, and that is that it needs to be a new purchase, it needs to be an audiobook, and it needs to be cozy. Now I have a new book that is also an audiobook, and that is a new release, and that is We Three Kings by Kristen Bailey. And I read 2 other books by this author before. I really enjoyed them, and now I have this ARC, which is also an audiobook, which works out perfectly. I'm not sure if it's very cozy though. So in case it's not, I need to split these up. So we have new purchase for an audiobook for the new Christmas book from Kristen Bailey. If I remember correctly, we have a main character who is, I'm guessing, snowed in a cabin with 3 of her workmates, and she has the very horrible choice to make which one needs to be let go from the company, and she's actually falling in love with one of them, and the others are very close friends of hers, so there is kind of like a Sophie's Choice kind of situation going on. Like I said, I really enjoyed other books by this author. I hope it's not a kind of why choose moment, and I hope it's not too cringy with 3 guys there. We'll see. I have faith that this author knows what she's doing. So in case that book isn't cozy, we're gonna pick We Three Kings for these 2, and then we're gonna choose another book for cozy. And for this one, I'm gonna choose The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong. This I don't have an audiobook for, or else I could actually use this for all 3 prompts, but I don't have the audiobook. I don't know if I will get it, so I don't want to put just this one on because that would be lying. In this one we have a fortune teller who only tells small fortunes because she's afraid that if she gives someone this big fortune that may screw up their life, she's going to be responsible, so she has decided not to do that anymore. But now a small child is missing and she is trying to help the other people who are looking for this child, and for that she probably will have to use her magic and her fortunes. So this is supposed to be very cozy fantasy, so it shouldn't be too heartbreaking with a missing child or anything. So I'm happy to go into this one. It is pretty short, so I should fly through this, and this would actually work perfectly for the cozy and also for the new purchase prompt. So these are the books that got chosen for my December TBR. I'm not too mad about it. I would have liked some of the other books from the Christmas list. Since it's already a week into the month, I've already read 2 of the other Christmas books and I really enjoyed them. So even if I didn't choose the books for this TBR, I might actually just read some more wintry, Christmassy books, because there were also some fantasy books that have like winter themes, and I want to get to those as well. But this is my official TBR. I forgot to tell you, I totally didn't read everything for my November TBR. I think for the new year I might need to figure out a thing to do about me not finishing these TBRs. Let me know. Let me know down in the comments if you think I should get punished for not reading the books that I picked, or if I should just give myself some slack and just see these as piles of possibilities that I might read during the next month. Let me know down in the comments what books you're looking forward to this month, and until the next time, I hope you have all the great reads. Bye!